Good morning, good kind people. It's Tiara here with another video into my health and fitness journey, just overall healing. Just here again, just doing as the Holy Spirit leads me to, just sharing things that I've gone through on my health and fitness journey. This particular video, this is my sixth time trying to do this morning. I believe the enemy is mad. I believe somebody's going to get set free by this video. I'm going to try to speak fast because I've deleted everything on this thing. I've known to delete and keep saying all of my memory, all of my space is full. Now, I don't know what's going on, but if you haven't watched part 1 of food addiction, it's where I go into overcoming food addiction, my own food addiction. Nobody knew I had a food addiction, and basically any type of addiction is just you not dealing with things that need to be dealt with in your eating. Whatever you're doing, you're choosing that addiction to mask what it is you're really not dealing with. Just like I would eat my emotions. But like I said, you can watch that video. It's called Food Addiction Part 1. And as I promised in that video, I was going to go ahead and share with you this year how I got started in my health and fitness journey, and it was by food addiction almost took my life. I almost allowed it to take my life this year, and I'm just gonna jump right in because, like I said, this thing I've tried to do it from my phone, and my phone keeps shutting off on me. I'm on the iPad now, and the iPad keeps doing something weird. So I do believe the enemy is upset. Even last night in the middle of the night, I was up. He was trying to create a panic and like people are gonna look at you different, or it was just him just whispering to me that I shouldn't do this video. So I know that I'm going to be I'm going to be there's going to be a breakthrough for me from this video, but I also believe that this is going to help somebody else too. So I'm just going to jump right quickly into it on how my own food addiction almost took my life this year. This year, back in February, I was sitting at my desk. I was making a cup for a client, Mama D, and her she has tax divas. And so I was making a cup for her, and if you know her, she loves bling on everything. So I was adding some rhinestones to a cup of hers, and I wanted to save time. So I asked my daughter to make me some chicken nuggets real quick, and I was gonna, jump from my desk and and um and eat my chicken nuggets and then go back to working. So I was just trying to move very fast. She made my chicken nuggets, put me some ranch on the side, and after I was done with my chicken nuggets, me being a former food addict, I say that because I believe the Lord has delivered and is still delivering me. I was taking my finger, I was just swiping it on the bottom of the plate, just getting the leftover chicken nugget residue or dust or whatever, and the ranch dressing, just licking, just rubbing my finger across the plate and licking my finger. And I heard the Holy Spirit told me to tell me to stop. And some of us, me, I'm one of them, those people who try to rationalize things like, okay, it's just a little bit of ranch, it's not that serious. But in that same thought, I know that the Holy Spirit had been telling me I needed to do better with my eating. I needed to do better with my health. Even though I know I had a food addiction, looking at me, yes, I was a larger girl, but a lot of my weight I carry in my butt and my thighs, so hiding it wasn't a problem. I was always I really didn't look like the weight that I weighed, if that makes sense. So anyway, I heard the Holy Spirit tell me no. About 3 times I heard the Holy Spirit tell me no. And that third time, I was the last lick of the plate on my finger. I heard loud and clear, stop. But I didn't. I licked that last little bit of ranch off my finger, and almost immediately I taste this really nasty taste in my mouth. It almost tastes familiar, if that makes sense. And then I felt my throat felt like, like when you swallow, your throat kind of goes up and comes back down, or vice versa. Well, I felt my throat go up, but it didn't feel like it come back down. It felt like it was like frozen into place. So I heard something say, go drink water. So I immediately jumped up. I drank a whole bottle of water. I drank almost another bottle of water. And then I heard something say, there was E6000 glue on your finger and you swallowed it. I immediately started to panic. But then I remembered that I can't panic because in my younger years, I suffered for a while with panic attacks and anxiety and things like that. I can't go backwards, so I just started to begin to pace the floor and pray. Okay, God, I'm sorry. Yes, I was sorry. It's almost like, I used to be one of those people who judge people like, oh, you're not sorry. You're only sorry just because you got caught. Because it happened right in the moment and you're immediately sorry. I always would judge people and be like, they're not sorry. They're just sorry that they got caught. But in that moment, now I can look back and say, I was really sorry because I know the Holy Spirit told me to stop. And I was just trying to rationalize it. Just a little bit of ranch, Lord. But he was trying to save my life. So if you've ever worked with E6000 glue, you know that it dries very fast and it dries and it's impossible to like move it. So that I kept praying. I kept saying, Lord, I can't focus on this. I just need you to just bring me through. I need you to bring me through because my throat felt like it was frozen in place, if that makes sense. But I didn't want to go to the emergency room, which is so stupid because it was right around the time when the lady sprayed her hair with the E6000 with the Gorilla Glue. And I just didn't want that to be my hashtag, I just didn't want to be associated with that. I was embarrassed. I was a lot of things. So I called the poison control and they told me the great thing was that my throat wasn't glued shut, which that kind of sent me into another panic because I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't they were saying like how you can swallow glue and it will glue your throat shut and you kind of just die because your air can't get in and out. Your air can't get in and out. So they was like that, they didn't think that I ate enough of it or swallowed enough of it to cause any damage. And I'm on the phone even with them. I'm like, no, y'all don't know this stuff. It dries clear, it dries fast because I know it gets on my clothes. It gets on like my like when I'm working, I always have like little rags I wipe like the excess off with, or I wipe the excess off like with my finger or whatever. And I know how this stuff dries. But they was like, you'll be okay. Your stomach acids will come up and your saliva and it will break down the glue. So I was like, okay. So I just tried to pray my way through it. And I smell E6000 really strongly, like in my nose. It was so loud. It was like I was having a headache from it. I tasted it. With each thing, I couldn't eat enough. I couldn't eat anything to take the taste away. I just tasted it very strongly in my mouth. I'm trying to talk fast. I hope this video lets me finish. Lord, let this video finish. So the next day, I still smelled it, still tasted it. That night, I woke up in the middle of the night. I still didn't go to the ER because I just didn't want to be associated with the girl who swallowed glue. So the next night, I woke up in the middle of the night. My tongue was stuck to the side of my inside of my cheek. I had to literally like pull my tongue away from it. Was stuck. And then all on my tongue was like this white, I believe it was like probably like glue residue. My tongue was like white. I couldn't hardly brush it off. I had to use like baking soda to brush it off. I used peroxide to try to gargle and brush it. It took a lot, but it still all didn't come off. And all throughout, this was like 3 days of me just glue residue. I don't believe it was a lot on my finger because I didn't see it, or I don't know, but I know that I for about 3 or 4 days, all I could smell was glue, E6000. All I could taste was, no matter what I ate, the E6000 overrode it. My throat still felt like it was kind of frozen into place. So I finally after about 3 or 4 days, I think I finally went to the ER. And because it just kind of felt like something was stuck in my throat. And also, mind you, the glue, I can't think of the word, when you, like a flare up of acid reflux. I've suffered with acid reflux, but never to this extent. I'm gonna say this. I swallowed glue But I think the acid reflux was the Lord helping me out to help dissolve the glue. But I had never experienced acid reflux to this extent. Um, so I went to the ER because it felt like I had something stuck in my throat. Also, sometimes it felt like something was like whatever was stuck in my throat would travel up, like, like the inside of your, um, oh crap. Can't think of the name of it, but it's like you could, it felt like it was travel up to my nose sometimes, and it was in my throat. So I went to the ER, and they told me basically the same things that they told me. Poison control told me, great job. It's awesome that your throat isn't that your throat wasn't glued shut. And they also said, that they don't think that I swallowed enough of it, that the doctor told me. But the doctor at the Lake Wells Hospital, he was very nonchalant, very not caring, very just whatever it is, what it is. He said that the acids in the saliva would dissolve any glue. And I was like, this glue is waterproof, and he was like, it would. He was like, over time, even like the acids in your saliva is enough to dissolve a penny. And I'm thinking, I've heard of people who have used the bathroom and pennies, accidentally swallowed a penny or whatever, and it came out the other end, but whatever. So they did a CAT scan of my throat, and they said they didn't see anything. So they told me to take to do throat lozenges to keep my throat lubricated. Ludwig's, I think, is the name of it. And then he gave me a prescription for acid reflux, because it did like offset is not the word, like flare up acid reflux. So from there, I was still getting daily white residue on my tongue that tasted like glue, felt like glue, was pulling off of my tongue like glue. I had to go get a tongue scraper. I didn't even tell my mama until like I don't even remember, like day 4 or day 5. I didn't tell anybody, because I just, sometimes when you have the, when you can panic, you just don't tell certain people things, because certain questions they ask or certain things that they do or how they move will cause you to panic. So I just didn't tell anybody. But yeah, that's how, me not being obedient to the Holy Spirit, I almost lost my life. And it's my fault, because I heard him say no. I heard him say stop. I heard him 3 times, I believe it was. It could have been more, but he didn't owe me the stop the second time, because I know that I should have not. I knew he had been warning me about my eating, about overeating, about eating the wrong things, but I just chose not to listen. And it's by the grace of God that I'm still here, that my throat was not glued shut. That the eating of the glue started a very bad, just acid reflux, to the point where it felt like I always had something stuck in my throat. I don't know if it's glue, I don't know if it's acid, I don't know what it is. I still sometimes have that feeling, but it went into where I had it got so bad to there was it went to where I couldn't eat anything. Like, everything felt like it was literally stuck in my throat, to the point where I was gagging, to the point where it was coming back up in my mouth, to the point where, like, I couldn't lay down at night and sleep. Like, it almost felt like I had whatever I ate was sitting in my throat. So it got to the point where I was on liquids. All I could do was drink a protein shake. That's what I was drinking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then sometimes it got to where that felt too thick. Like, if I added bananas, it felt just like the residue of the shake was just in my throat. And I went from there to just doing broth for like a month. So that is what initiated my my journey to health and fitness, with me not being able to eat. I think I couldn't eat for like a month and a half. All I was doing was like protein shakes, broth. I eventually worked my way up to grits, and I had to push past that, because even the grits felt like they were stuck in my throat. And I said, Lord, if you bring me through this, Lord, I'm going to do my best to take care of this temple that you gave me. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that I did not, take heed unto your voice. I'm sorry that all these years that I've overeaten until the point to where my stomach feels like it's about to explode. Even me, in 2019, I had hernia repair surgery. They tell you don't gain weight. What did I do? Overeating. I gained about 8 to 9 pounds even after that surgery. And sometimes I would eat until the point to where my surgery site would feel like it was going to bust back open. So, it wasn't just a overeating. It was a full food addiction. When you're doing something to the point of where you're hurting yourself, where you're harming yourself, where you can't think clearly, all on my mind was food was like a high. Like when you bite into, like when you bite into food first time, and it's just like, like it's so good. I was literally eating to the point to where I was chasing that first bite again, if that makes sense. And it's some people that this won't make sense, but it might be coffee for you. It might be you drinking coffee all day to the point to where you're looking for how that first morning cup of coffee feels, or whatever drug it is, whatever drink it is, whatever shopping addiction, whatever it is you're chasing something. You're trying to recreate something that feels good, and oftentimes it's too you don't even realize is that you're trying to mask other things that you're not dealing with. For me, if I felt depressed, I ate. If I felt happy, I ate. If I felt whatever feeling excited about going out to eat, I ate. I might have ate something before I went out to eat, or I might have ate coming home, or I might